A true story.
Okay.
Now, the BBC, not exactly some obscure news source, the BBC has an article that suggests while the latest research suggests that antibodies against COVID-19 could be lost in just 3 months, a new hope has appeared on the horizon: the enigmatic T cell. The clues have been mounting for a while. First, scientists discovered patients who had recovered from the infection with COVID-19, but mysteriously didn't have any antibodies against it. So people who had it, but no antibodies against it. Next, it emerged that this might be the case for a significant number of people. Then came the finding that many of those who do develop antibodies seem to lose them again after just a few months.
I've heard these stories.
Yes. This is why the idea of a vaccine is kind of an interesting... I'm not claiming there won't be a treatment, but treatment and vaccine are not synonymous terms.
Right, a vaccine is something you get to avoid being treated in the future.
Yeah, or create herd immunity or whatever the case may be. And best I can tell from having read this stuff, there won't be one. There's not going to be herd immunity. But there's quite a bit of hope in this article. In short, though, antibodies have proven invaluable for tracking the spread of the pandemic, they might not have the leading role in immunity that we once thought. If we are going to acquire long-term protection, it looks increasingly like it might have to come from somewhere else. But while the world has been preoccupied with antibodies, researchers have started to realize that there might be another form of immunity, one which, in some cases, has been lurking undetected in the body for years. The enigmatic type of white blood cell is gaining prominence. And
the T cell.
An enigmatic type. And though it hasn't previously featured heavily in the public consciousness, it may well be critical to our fight against COVID-19. This would be the T cell's big moment. It had quite a big moment back in the AIDS epidemic, too. They were part of the attacking the T cells.
I recall hearing about it in school, but I couldn't define what it is.
Yeah. T cells are a kind of immune cell whose main purpose is to identify and kill invading pathogens or infected cells. It does this using proteins on its surface, which can bind to proteins on the surface of these imposters. Each T cell is highly specific. There are trillions of possible versions of these surface proteins which can recognize a different target. But because T cells can hang around the blood for years after an infection, they also contribute to the immune system's long-term memory and allow it to mount a faster and more effective response when it's supposed to be an old foe when it's supposed to be, exposed to an old foe. Several studies have shown that people infected with COVID-19 tend to have T cells that can target the virus. So, regardless of whether they have experienced symptoms, so far, so normal. But scientists have also recently discovered that some people can test negative for antibodies against COVID-19 and positive for T cells that can identify the virus.
Negative for antibodies,
yes.
Positive for T cells.
So
okay, so the antibody would be something they would get after fighting off the COVID successfully. But in this case... They don't ever get to that point.
You have the antibodies while you're sick as well. You can. It means you're fighting the battle, but it doesn't mean you've necessarily won it.
And the antibodies are sometimes not present in people who had the disease. And some people who have the antibodies lose them within a few months.
And so what they're saying is, if you don't have antibodies or you've lost the antibodies, then that means your T cells were able to fight off this thing before it even really got started.
It means a whole bunch of things.
Okay.
So let me go on here because this has led to the suspicions that some level of immunity against the disease might be twice as common as previously thought. Most bizarrely of all, when researchers tested blood samples taken years before the pandemic started, they found T cells which were specifically tailored to detect proteins on the surface of COVID-19. This suggests that some people already had a pre-existing degree of resistance against the virus before it infected a human. And it appears to be surprisingly prevalent. Between 40 and 60%. What's the number between 40 and 60%, Ian?
Half.
50, yeah. Of unexposed individuals had these cells.
Which means that about half is what you're saying would have the ability to fight this thing off via these T cells and basically never even have any evidence they've ever even had the thing, basically?
I wouldn't say that. So the T cells give you an advantage in fighting it off, right? Like basically your body has a memory to fight it. Now,
even though it's never seen it before.
Right. Well,
there are many things that are similar, though. The common cold is the same family of viruses.
So there are trillions of combinations of things that can be on the surface of these T cells, right? So all it needs is to be close enough to fight off the COVID-19. And apparently it's got something that's close enough. Now, I don't know if humans have been exposed to COVID-19 before COVID-19 and not gotten sick because they were, say, exposed to bats or dogs or whatever. All kinds of animals can have COVID-19, but we're not identifying it because it didn't affect humans. It's called COVID-19 because it was found in
a human
2019, a human in 2019. So, I mean, this virus has been in animals for some time. It's not new in that way.
In theory, it could have been found in humans if it were being looked for, but maybe someone got it and just didn't bother to do anything about it because they didn't get that sick. You know, if you come down with the flu and you can beat it in a few days, you're not going to go to the hospital.
Right. And maybe we caught COVID-19 at a particularly virulent state. I mean, this is a novel virus. We don't know. Again, we don't know that much about the viruses. And when I say we don't know, I don't mean the three guys in this room.
I definitely don't know.
Or the people who are listening or anything. I'm saying human beings don't know much about this, including the experts that get on the television and radio and stuff like that. And tell everybody things that are then going to be amended in 2 months. But don't worry, stay in your home. It's just for 2 more weeks.
Yeah, that's it.
So I think it's very interesting that blood samples taken years before the pandemic started
of humans,
had the COVID-19, T cell thing, and that presumably as a result, people, that half the population is going to be able to fight off the disease or never experience it in the first place.
And then another portion of the other half that has to fight it off will beat it relatively easily from what I've seen, right? Like, a lot of people just doing fine. They survive this. Most of them don't go to the hospital.
And some fraction of 1% die.
But if we can just save one life, we should shut down every business in the world and destroy the economy. We're coming up.
Moose is the German Shepherd, now 11, and he's been an amazing dog. Moose is so active and so alert and hasn't had any kind of health problems at all. He has a beautiful coat, and at 11, he'll still run and chase the ball. He has been on Dynavite since he's a puppy.
Dynavite for life.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
DINOVITE.com. We tell anybody that has a dog, if there was something that you could do right from the beginning so that you don't have expensive veterinary bills, why would you not do it? Get the Dynavite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynavite from DINOVITE.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. News from news.bitcoin.com. Another 83 tons in fake gold found in China. Crypto still much harder to counterfeit. Host Stefan Molyneux banned from YouTube. Receives $100,000 in crypto donations afterward. Reporters uncover $11 trillion in offshore government-sanctioned bank accounts. Bitcoin Cash still potentially private and unconfiscatable. Bitcoin.com is your source for getting started with cryptocurrencies. Getting a wallet, buying Bitcoin Cash, mining, and all the latest cryptocurrency news at news.bitcoin.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Or call us on the Discord call-in lines over at discord.lrn.fm. And that is where you will sound like you're almost sitting here in the studio with us. And tonight, that includes me, Ian.
And me, Mark.
And nobody.
And how'd you like more businesses accepting cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin Cash and Dash or Bitcoin SV even now? With AnyPay, you can do that, and you can actually earn passive income for every purchase made at those businesses. The instant the purchase happens, you get a little piece of it, a little commission that comes right into your cryptocurrency wallet if you help local businesses come on board with the AnyPay Cash Register app. So you should probably just download the app yourself and create an account and just get some practice using it so you know what to do, you know how to answer questions from local business owners when they ask you, because they will ask and they will have questions. But you help them get set up. There's one guy here in town in Keene that just in the last week set up 2 businesses in downtown Keene. So we already had several here in Keene. We're kind of one of the crypto mecca, crypto hotspots. And this guy just got one of the ice cream shops in downtown and a barber shop as well. It's actually pretty cool because we've had Corner News was the first business in Keene back in like 2013, before AnyPay even existed, to start taking Bitcoin. They're now on the AnyPay system as of the last few years. And there's like a little block of stores. So there's AnyPay, or not AnyPay, there's Corner News, and right behind it, there's this ice cream shop, and then there's a barber shop. So all 3 of them, we've got like a little monopoly block now with all of them taking crypto, which is so awesome. And it's AnyPay that made that happen. And I'm pretty sure AnyPay's incentive program here for people that sign these businesses up is what motivated the guy who did this to get these guys set up. So it's so cool. You can go to anypayinc.com and you can start doing this in your area, anypayinc.com, or better yet, move up to New Hampshire and help us do it here, because numbers make a difference when it comes to persuading local business owners to start taking cryptocurrency. It helps to have a group of people who are willing to spend it in town as well. So check out AnyPay Cash Register. Just download that app for your Google or Apple, whatever favorite device that you have. AnyPay Cash Register. As we continue here, you can bring up anything that you want. Mark, you were just giving us some really good news that it looks like half of people, and this is a BBC report that you were sharing with us, that like half of people have some kind of built-in T-cell blockage for COVID, essentially. That
block isn't the right term, but let's call it
a preemptive strike or something like that.
Some kind of preemptive preparation in their body. Their body's kind of prepared for COVID, which means that they're more likely to be one of the people that never knew they had it, or that doesn't have much of an effect from it. Your body's fighting things off all the time. These T cells are fighting things off all the time.
Thank you, T cells.
Thank you, T cells. Thank you,
we
nurses.
should take them out for tea.
No thanks to you, governments and corporations.
Thank you, nurses. Thank you, T cells. Thank you, truck drivers.
So that's good news. Half of people already with like a built-in, real serious defense already to this thing. And so that's the good news about halves. And here's the bad news about halves. Story from Mashable.com. Yelp has come out with some information. You know Yelp, that app that some people use.
Great for businesses, right?
Well, it depends on who you ask. Some businesses would say it's not so great because Yelp wants you to pay them so you can get in there and actually like edit the comments or respond to them or something like that. So it depends which business owners you ask. Some people are fans of it. Some people think it's a racket. But regardless, it's a relatively well-known business rating internet app/website. And it's used by a fair amount of people. Well, Yelp has an economic average report that just came out today. And it shows exactly how tough it is right now for restaurants and other small businesses. Focusing on restaurants, 60% of the 26,160, quote, temporarily closed restaurants on the Business Review site as of July are now permanently closed. Temporary closures are dropping, and permanent shutdowns are increasing.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time. You can only keep a business closed so long before, the landlord wants their rent, and the employees are going someplace else.
Not, or they don't want to work because, they've been furloughed and now they got this unemployment check coming in. Why bother going back to work?
Well,
one of the most amazing heists in history. The big businesses get $3 trillion to sit it out. And, of course, they have the lawyers to fall back. Well, little business gets harried out of existence. The oligarchs get richer and everybody else gets poorer.
I actually saw Bitcoin.com's weekly report. Banks are getting $18 billion in just the fees surrounding handing out the money and the checks and all these things that are going on. So out of the checks that are going to Americans, banks are going to take their cut of $18 billion.
As banks are wont to do.
And now
they're going to have a lot of defaults on a bunch of loans. I mean, I'm not saying they should get bailed out.
They'll get a bailout for that.
They are. Oh, yeah, they will. But
that's the other part of
this.
They're
going to lose more than $18 billion on a lot of that, I think.
Of the stimulus thing here surrounding COVID is people aren't talking about what the Federal Reserve did for the banks. Because when the Federal Reserve...
Getting rid of the reserve requirement, you mean?
Well, just their reserve requirement is interesting, but the Federal... I think it was... what was it that Trump handed out something close to $1 trillion? Maybe it was 1.2, 1.5. I can't remember. I don't have it sitting in front of me. To people through checks and the small business stimulus and stuff like that.
Yeah, including businesses, then yeah, you might be that high, but the average person was
so there was the bailout, and it was like over $1 trillion. But at the same time, there was a $3 trillion bailout that the Federal Reserve turned on the printing presses and gave a bunch of money to banks to be able to have deposits on hand. So nobody even talked about that. And I agree with nobody here, Pope Nobody, that in fact, this was a giant hustle. I'm not saying it wasn't a real virus. I'm saying these people were waiting for the next, and they're waiting again. Like, the cougar kills, and then it goes and hides behind a rock again and does the same trick.
Thing, as long as you can keep getting away with it.
And it knows that an antelope is going to come along. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be another crisis.
Oh, yeah. They're already continuing with this one. They're already relocking down in some states like California and elsewhere. They're telling restaurants and bars that had literally just opened a matter of weeks ago,
time to shut down again.
You got to close down again. Let's see, how many times can you go through this cycle? How many times can the average business owner shut down their business, have absolutely no revenue or near to zero revenue or, a quarter of their revenue from before, and keep this thing going? For how many weeks? And then they come back for 3 weeks, and then they're shut down again, and then, it's crazy.
I don't believe this whole pandemic is a plandemic to kill small business, but it might as well have been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it is. I don't believe it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard.
But I do believe that, like just the way things are set up, small businesses are on the edge, and it's half of the economy, ladies and gentlemen.
It was already hard to be a small business.
Don't you think it was awfully? I mean, let's start out looking at this from China's point of view. Wasn't the timing of this thing just fantastic for them? Because all of a sudden, Hong Kong is quiet. It gave them an opportunity to kill an estimated 20 million activists, quite possibly. Or at least there appear to be 20 million dead people there. So
Really?
It seems to be very convenient, even if it's not intentional.
The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like Freedom, we can talk more about the difficulty being in business during this time. And your calls and thoughts are welcome.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward Liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the Liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want right here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Maybe you're a local business owner and you have been forced by the threat of violence on the part of state agents to close your doors, and maybe you'll get to reopen them again, or maybe you won't.
Well, I would,
What's your story?
In the defense of the state agents, not that I like to be in this particular position, we don't know, because there's no way to run a scientific experiment. We don't know how many people would have chosen to stay at home and not go out and thus not spend money, and businesses would have shut down anyway.
You mean if people were actually given the choice?
Right.
Well, the thing is, there are people who would have done that, okay?
Yes.
But there are also people who would have gratefully taken their jobs, who were unemployed now, who were unemployed before, and now they have a chance to work because there's a job, because
if there was
somebody's
a job.
Too scared.
Right. You're talking about in the future that didn't exist.
If they hadn't forcibly shut those down, somebody would have done the work.
And
people have been risking their lives to go to work since long before mankind. Imagine how many people got killed hunting mastodon.
And we would have also gotten the opportunity to see what the marketplace would do as far as the buyers are concerned. So what percentage of people would have stayed home on their own volition versus what percentage of people stayed home because they believed they were going to be arrested if they didn't? How many people would have not put in mask mandates in their business if they didn't believe that there were going to be men with guns showing up forcing them at the threat of violence to put a mask mandate into place? So what would the marketplace actually look like? We don't know. We know what the polling numbers are showing or have been showing over the last several months, but you can't really believe the polls, can you? I mean, we know that poll questions are asked in a way to sculpt the responses in a certain manner. This is standard polling, right? Like, you ask the question, you're very careful with how you ask questions and the answers that you provide, that kind of thing, if you want to have a certain likelihood of results coming out.
Have
so
you
it's
ever
hard to believe
taken one of these telephone polls
Yes.
and then sort of asked for clarification from the person who's asking the questions?
Most of the time it's a robot, so you don't even get the chance.
It's been some time since I've had it, so I don't have a home phone and I'm not interested in getting these calls. But my experience is it's a college kid, and what they do is they repeat back what they just said. And they say, I'm not allowed to tell you anything besides that. Like, that's it. You answer the question.
And usually the options are like, what are you voting for, Republican or Democrat? You don't have a third option. There's no other, fill in the blank. So we don't know what the other future would have looked like, and unfortunately this one looks pretty bleak when it comes to being a local business owner, especially a restaurateur. The numbers from Yelp are showing that 60% of those 26,000 plus temporarily closed restaurants are now permanently closed. They never opened back up. Is
there a percentage of that? I mean, how many is that?
60% of the 26,000 restaurants. So what's that, roughly 14,000?
So of the sample that Yelp has, 60% of them are shutting down permanently.
That's what they're saying. We can tell you a little bit more about that. Also, want to make sure you know about Divvy and the next generation wallet coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar right in their mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers their first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When their new wallet launches because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. Learn more at DivvyProject.org, DIVI project.org. According to Yelp's report, as cited at Mashable.com. This was their report. Okay, so the new report is the one that shows 60%. This one came out today. 60% of the 26,000 temporary closed residents or restaurants are now permanently shut. Their previous report that came out in April found that more than 175,000 total businesses were closed in some capacity. Just under 25% of those closed businesses have reopened 3 months later. So that's not a whole lot of reopenings. Only 25% have.
But of course, the ones that are more likely to reopened, and the ones that are more likely to stay closed stayed closed. And it depends on the geographic area.
It hurts the most vulnerable of us.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. The most vulnerable of small businesses are dying.
They're going to go under.
That's one of my most hated stated phrases, just because all they did was define the word vulnerable.
For restaurants in particular, this is becoming the way it goes. Yelp noted a 23% increase in permanent restaurant closures from only a month ago. Bars and clubs are also closing forever at high rates. 44% of 5,454 temporarily shuttered bars and other nightlife establishments are closed for good. Yelp. And in some states, they're not even allowing bars to open with any capacity, right? So like restaurants in certain states can open with a 25% or a 50% capacity. They're mandating tables be removed and things like that. The bars are just being told that in some of these states, you just can't reopen.
And the ones that can reopen, remember what a bar sells. A bar doesn't sell liquor or beer or wine.
Mm-hmm.
You can get that anywhere.
Sure.
For
less.
A fraction of the cost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can buy an expensive stout and pay $2 a can, $3 a can. If you get an expensive stout in a bar, you're going to pay $9, $10, and that's just in the countryside. I have no idea what you fools in the city are paying. So, I mean, what a bar sells is location. An atmosphere, an ambiance.
To meet people.
And girls.
Yep.
Well, there's that. But it's part of the ambiance. So, if you're looking for the sort of, cheap drink kind of jukebox kind of place, they got that. If you want a place where you can dance, they got that. If you want a place where you can play pool, whatever it is, that's what a bar's got. That's what it sells. And right now, that's real difficult. In some places, it's impossible. Or darn close to impossible. You could run a speakeasy, I guess, and see how long that lasted.
And that is happening. We met a young lady at the Porcupine Freedom Festival who was doing that in Los Angeles. She is, I guess, doing that in Los Angeles, throwing underground parties at
people's
speakeasies.
homes, usually the homes of people who are, service hospitality types anyway.
I didn't know where they were being held.
I thought they were had mentioned that. I mean, I don't want to see the jackboots combing the phone book for people who are in the hospitality industry, running through the computer and checking out at their homes on Friday night to see what's going on. But yeah, maybe.
Yelp also broke down location. Which cities, which states are experiencing the most closures, both temporary and permanent? Places like Honolulu, San Francisco, and Las Vegas, in that order, by the way, apparently are the most closingest of the various different cities out there.
The deadliest place to own a bar or restaurant.
And also, that is true when it comes to ranking states. So Hawaii, number 1 most deadly to business, Nevada number 2, and California number 3. There's Arizona, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Texas, New York filling out the list. Florida's even in there, and a couple more down from that. Don't see New Hampshire in this list. They don't show all 50 states, at least in this particular image.
Yeah, last I heard, Key West, which has to be a very big place for local bars.
Lots of parties there, yep.
Yeah, is trying very hard not to let anybody in. Monroe County.
No more fun there, huh? Fun's over.
Yep, fun's over.
2020 is the least fun year so far of my entire life.
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's not much fun.
Awful. Thank goodness there was the Fork Fest and the Porcupine Freedom Festival. It was at least something to get out and do, and a little bit of sanity.
That was epic. Have we heard of anybody who went who got ill?
No, I've not heard about that.
I haven't either.
There was somebody who joked about it online, but then they deleted the comment because it set off this firestorm. See, somebody. They were just joking.
It's COVID fest. COVID fest. Well, I mean, what you have to understand is there's some real jokesters that go there. People who perhaps would make jokes that would make others cringe. Yeah, the cringeworthy folks.
So 8:55. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Well, Disneyland, or World, I guess. I'm not sure one. Yeah, Disney World has decided they're going to be cracking down on their customers. No longer shall you be able to walk and drink at the same time because safety.
Have you ever thought about turning your Glock, XD Family, or 1911 handgun into a semi-automatic carbine? It only takes about 30 seconds. The MacTech Carbine Upper is classified as an accessory and can be delivered right to your doorstep with no FFL or background check required. It's the world's most versatile pistol accessory. Build your custom upper today. Simply go to handgunconversion.com. That's handgunconversion.com.
Survival food alert and a quick heads up. In an emergency situation, there may be a time you need to have an easy to transport, easy to conceal, almost perfect food to survive. You'd want a food that is so nutritionally dense that a couple of tablespoons per day is all you need to live on. And by that, I mean truly living well, staying smart, even strong for extended periods of time. So if you're looking for a standalone, super dense superfood, or you'd just like to protein up your own food supplies, check this out. This superfood has 58 times the bioavailable iron of spinach, chock full of B vitamins, twice the chlorophyll of wheatgrass, 25 times the antioxidant power of carrots, and the phenolic phytonutrient compounds? Well, 31 times more than blueberries, a whopping 700 times more than apples. Go to bluegreenbooster.com, bluegreenbooster.com. Get maximum nutrition with minimum weight and bulk. bluegreenbooster.com.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. Silverlungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want right here. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. In fact, Discord is where Gene the Christian Anarchist is hanging out right now, and he comments that Hong Kong does not have 20 million people. Apparently, a comment was
20
made.
million is a big city.
He's absolutely right. New York City has
15?
12 or 15.
Yeah, I think during the day. It goes down at night.
Right, those big cities are really hard to quantify because what do you count as it, and what time of day do you count it?
So let me explain that 20 million.
Because you had said 20 million people disappeared.
The way that number was arrived at was by discovering how many phones disappeared off the Chinese cell phone network. And it was like 22 or 24 million. The reason that's
and that's of the whole nation.
Yeah, that's the whole country of 1 billion people.
Okay, that's a whole different story then.
But the reason that that's so relevant is because in China, you can't have more than one phone because they openly use it to track you, and also their phones are how they pay for things, and they're essential to the social credit programs. So you can't just not have a phone.
So where did those people go is the question.
My guess is that a lot of them went to the Chinese activist
camps, internment camps.
Well, I was gonna say activist body shops where they get parted out and sold to rich Saudis. They're actually that's one of the things they're doing with the Muslims that they're killing in China. Is
I've heard that rumor.
The Saudis want to buy organs from people who lived halal.
Oh, jeez.
Which I don't think is itself halal, but maybe they think it helps.
Yeah, anyway, if you want to join us, you can.
Stunned by what I just heard. That's amazing.
855-450-FREE, like freedom. So whether you want to talk about what's going on in China allegedly or anything that's happening in your neighborhood, especially with the crackdown on local business owners, preventing them from making their own decisions, preventing individuals from making their own choices. Maybe I want to open up my business and tell my customers, eat at your own risk.
And the thing about that, the thing that makes it so important, especially in areas of risk, is evolution works because people who make decisions that are in accord with nature live. And people who don't make decisions that are in accord with nature die.
And
I'm
we don't
talking
know
specifically about people who miscalculate risk.
Right, and we don't know who is right at this point. I can assure you both sides vehemently believe they're right, but nature will let you know.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm right, but I know one thing's for sure. I don't want to live life like these, living in fear, essentially. When I see folks with masks on, I figure they're either in fear of the COVID or they're doing it because they are expecting to, and there's a lot of social pressure, they're expected to by other people.
Well, that's the reason I'm generally wearing a mask when I go into businesses, is because of, just basically, I want other people to think I care about them.
So you're signaling.
Yeah, that's exactly what that's what it is.
And that's what the social pressure is all about. It's all about trying to pressure people by making it seem like if you don't wear a mask, you must hate other people, which is not true at all. Not true, but that's what they're saying, and it's working to affect people.
Well, it's not true, but it is true. I mean, what the habit that my parents tried to instill in me, and they didn't do a great job, is to act in a way what my mom would have called a classy way, and classy people don't make the people around them uncomfortable unnecessarily, and that's the thing. So, I mean, she asked me to put on a mask when I was in the bank begging for an account today. And I said, well, I'm not afraid, but if it will make you feel more comfortable, I will. And the point of saying that was that it was a point of personal privilege for her, not a mark of obedience to some amorphous state. And it was also a mark of I really need a bank account.
Yeah, that's a fair thing to do, to at least qualify the action before you actually take it in that particular case. However, it's not my job to make people feel comfortable, and my freedom does not end where your feelings begin. Or where your fear begins. And so to me, it's worth it to not wear a mask and make a deal. I don't want to be rude about it. I'm always trying to be as kind as possible about my refusal to wear a mask, but I'm not interested in doing this because to me, it buys into the fear and it propagates the fear. Because if there's no one else walking around without a mask, then we are going to live in mask world until our superior masters in government or whatever determine that we shouldn't anymore, and there's no reason why they'll determine that.
Well, that's one possible outcome, but the other possible outcome is that people denial takes time to overcome. Mm-hmm. There's lots of people who are drunks for the first 50 years of their lives and then spend the next 20 in AA. Mm-hmm. So and when people do realize that they have been completely had, at least by the response of this, that basically the authorities have been using this as an excuse to rob them blind, I don't think they're going to be that forgiving, But, the other thing beyond what my parents taught me, there's also what my rhetoric teacher taught me. And when I studied rhetoric, they taught me that there are 3 things you need in order to make a convincing argument. There's logos. Your argument has to appeal to logic. Mm-hmm. There's pathos. It also has to appeal to your feelings. And thirdly, there's ethos. And that means that as you must remain in their eyes a person of goodwill. Because as soon as they start thinking that you're not a person of goodwill, they stop listening.
Right. People will not listen to somebody that they don't feel, at the very least, has an equal level of concern for their own good, for somebody else's good that they do for their own. So once somebody's a mercenary, like their concerns are only for themselves, that's when this human primate tends to begin shutting down.
My concern is for human freedom. Okay, so
I know.
when people are confronting, and by the way, no one has yet confronted me with this perspective, but I know it exists. We don't live in the big cities, right? So this is common in the big cities. We were talking with Nick, who was an early mover here to New Hampshire, and he ended up moving back to Philadelphia. He's ready to leave because he's sick. And he's like a gay guy from the heart of Philly, right? Like, he's in that world and he can't stand being there anymore because he doesn't want to wear a mask, and all his liberal friends from the city, they are hating on him for it. Previously they were friends. Now they despise him.
Not as much.
As a result of that. And, the whole, you're going to kill my grandmother, you're putting us all in danger, all the fear. It's really disappointing. So they suggest that you don't care about others if you don't wear the mask. But the reality is, I do care about others. I care about others' freedom to make choices for themselves.
Right. And that's what we're talking about in this article here, where it looks like something like 50% of businesses, small businesses, are going out of business.
Yeah.
Restaurants and small businesses are taking huge hits, according to Yelp, and likely it's true. And what you have to quantify, what is the value of the mask thing? I'm not saying it's not a value. It is a value, and COVID is dangerous. But
so is the flu.
Well, so is the flu's dangerous too. Like, that's the thing is that exactly how long do these mask things become important?
As long as the mask companies are willing to sell them to you.
Well, as long as somebody says, because somebody will always say, well, would you like me to wear a mask or not? They'll always say yes. It doesn't matter if they haven't been sick in years. It doesn't matter if there's no pandemic. It doesn't matter about anything. Be like, sure, wear that mask. Because somebody always wants you to do the thing that you want you to do. Remember back when the bakers had to make the cakes for the gay weddings?
Yep.
Bake the cake. Put the mask on. And somebody standing for human freedom. Somebody out there standing for human freedom is of value, because human freedom is of value.
And
remember,
it's a
ladies and gentlemen, all of these things that you enjoy in your life, they were not created in totalitarian states.
That's right.
invention and innovation must occur in this particular species in an area that's free. And if it isn't, well, kiss it goodbye, America.
Kiss goodbye the economy, kiss goodbye opportunities, kiss goodbye innovation. 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. But at least you can go to Disney World, right? We'll tell you what's going on there coming up.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means, stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,810, silver at $19.65, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,132. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic have already devastated the world. Over 14 million people have tested positive for the virus, and nearly 600,000 have died since it was first identified in December. And cases continue to rise. But the human cost from the economic fallout could be worse than the virus itself, as the world plunges into a deep and possibly prolonged recession, which will lead to disease and starvation across the global south. Mint Press News reports that's why the international charity, Oxfam, is calling on the international community to agree to its proposal of an economic rescue package for all. The package entails 6 key features that it hopes to lay out across the world. The consequences of inaction will be extremely serious. As many as 12,000 people could die every day from COVID-linked hunger, which is more than those dying daily from the virus itself. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The Aurora, Colorado Police Department has been under scrutiny over the death of Elisha McLean for over the last month since it finally got the attention it deserved. Now, they are now facing yet another lawsuit after an officer with the department held a doctor at gunpoint on his own property for no reason. The Free Thought Project reports Dr. P.J. Palmer, who is an Indian American, was dropping off gear from a Boy Scout trip at the Mango House building, which is a community center and shared space for refugees that he owns. For those who may be unaware, Palmer founded Artist Family Medicine, a private practice that serves settled refugees, and Mango House, a home for refugees with activities and services that include dental care, food and clothing banks, churches, scout troops, and after-school programs. He's a pillar of the community and a selfless man who has dedicated his life to helping others. U.S. Customs and Border Protection published a new assessment titled Privacy Impact Assessment for the CPB license plate reader technology, outlining the agency's plan to combine its database on license plate images with ones from local and state governments, law enforcement agencies, parking garages, toll booth cameras, and financial institutions. Activist Post reports the U.S. has a massive network of automatic license plate readers typically found on police cars and toll booths, used to collect license plates of vehicles passing by. In particular, one database, called the Wrecker Public Safety Network, law enforcement are given real-time access to license plates. It captures approximately 150 million plate reads per month. To better protect the nation, the CPB's new assessment indicates it now wants direct access to those databases. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
All experts agreed this week that the dying U.S. economy is no reason at all to stop investing in print media, calling the newspaper and magazine industry a veritable cash cow with massive potential for growth. Top experts everywhere said that aggressive investment in print media will pay off in spades, and that newsprint is in no way threatened by internet news sites or online video content. Besides, everyone in the know agreed, loyal readers of newspapers would never, ever in a million years turn their back on the trusted print media industry that has always been there for them in good times and bad.
This is the Onion News Network.
It's the Onion Radio News. I'm Doyle Redland. Cardiologists announced today that test subjects who took a single aspirin tablet followed by a fifth of bonded Kentucky bourbon were 85% less likely to realize they were having a heart attack. Potential side effects for the new treatment include slurred speech, impaired vision, and vomiting. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, kicking off the second hour of the show. You can join us toll free, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. The mask world keeps getting worse out there. Now in D.C., face coverings will be mandatory for any D.C. resident, even leaving their homes. When you're ordering food at a restaurant, waiting for a bus, sitting in a cubicle in an open office space, walking your dog, she says, you gotta wear a mask unless you're a child under the age of 2, or if you're eating or drinking, or vigorously exercising. I guess that's up to the officer and the judge's discretion as to whether or not your exercise is vigorous enough. And if you are an individual...
I'll tell you, the one thing I'm not willing to do is get out and exercise with a mask on.
Yeah.
Like, you've gone too far if you're asking me to get out and you want me to wear a mask. I'll do my best.
Are they just asking?
Now, outside, I don't live in a city, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you live in a city, perhaps you've got different rules there. I don't know. But outside, I don't see any reason for a mask. A breeze comes along and all the virus is blown away.
Unfortunately, if you're outside at Disney World, according to Deadline.com, you will not be able to get away with walking with a drink as your excuse for not wearing a mask. That was the kind of the loophole, right? Like we've heard people say, oh, if you're on an airline, you can just have a drink the entire time, and then you don't have to wear the mask.
Yeah.
And that's what people have been saying. That's what people have been doing. And Disney World apparently got enough complaints, or somebody made the decision that they were.
Oh yeah, somebody's always upset.
Yep,
believe that.
Quote from Deadline, presumably whistle while you work is still acceptable, but add eating and drinking while walking to the list of things you can't do at Walt Disney World in the pandemic era.
Finally making the world safe for people who are too stupid to walk and chew gum at the same time.
Like some Vegas casinos, the park has banned consumption of food and drink on the move in order to ensure masks are worn at all times. Disney World has been under fire in some quarters for reopening at a time when COVID-19 cases are spiking, particularly in its home state of Florida. To minimize the potential spread of the disease, the theme park has instituted many new rules on social distancing, capacity, and cleaning. It is also requiring masks to be worn at all times. Previously, the exception was if you're eating and drinking. But the loophole has now been closed as patrons were seen walking throughout the park with beverages and food sans masks. The suggestion there is that people don't want to do this. If you're trying to find the loophole in all these various different mask rules and exploit it, so you can say, well, I would wear the mask, but I'm thirsty, so I can't right now. If that's your excuse, then you don't want to wear the mask. And I think there's a large number of people that are doing this because the corporations are saying to do it, and because there's this shaming going on as well. So they've got sort of a dual push. Not only is the government saying do it, but the corporations are backing the government up and basically being their unpaid enforcement arm. And then
they're getting paid.
And then these do-gooders in the population are just lambasting on social media and probably in real life as well, and going after these people for not wanting to wear these masks. And I think at some point people need to stop cooperating with this. Be kind about it, because there's been some very rude non-mask wearing people. But I think we need to be firm.
Blow your ethos.
Polite but firm, I think, is important here.
Yeah, I would... I'd remind, I can't remember what the quote is. I think it's an MLK quote, but that those in power never give freedoms to those out of power.
Yeah, you have to take it.
They're taken and demanded and that sort of thing.
It's not MLK, I don't think, unless he
no,
rephrased
it's,
it.
I know the
you
quote.
Cited it the
it's
other
Frederick
night.
Douglass.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get it.
But he'll pull it up.
It's unlikely that, exactly when. Somebody give me a time frame on when do the mask mandates go away.
I don't know. There's nothing on the horizon. They're getting worse.
I'm glad that people can wear masks now, because in America you just really couldn't wear masks without looking like some kind of loony and having problems and those kind of things.
Okay, one of my personal heroes here, Frederick Douglass. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will.
Yep.
Find out just what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found the exact measure of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them.
Yep.
Damn it.
That's what's happening.
And these will continue till they are resisted with either words or with blows or with both. The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress.
So
Frederick
eloquent.
Douglass. If
Wow.
you haven't read him, read him.
Yeah.
Guy was a genius.
That was fantastic. And he's right.
Yeah, it absolutely. That's just the right quote, and it's eloquently
And
put.
that's the thing. They're going to keep pushing, Mark, because they've gotten this far. They're going to keep going. Indiana now with 180 days in jail as the maximum sentence now starting Monday, according to the governor's order, which again is not a law, but no one seems to care. So the governor orders this, and now you're facing a misdemeanor, a Class B misdemeanor with fines up to $1,000 and up to half a year in jail for not wearing a mask in Indiana.
And I don't think it's necessarily because they're getting zero pushback that they're going to continue doing it, in that they're not getting zero pushback. They're getting some pushback, and I believe there will be more of that. But also, this is the same thing they've been doing since time immemorial. This is just a variation on a theme, whether they're causing the Great Depression or they're always looking to make the population weaker, more vulnerable, and easier to control.
Yep.
I don't know that they do it intentionally.
I think they do. That's
Maybe
what the
they
government
do.
schools are for.
I don't know what they do intentionally or not. I can't claim. I mean, I've never seen the memo. You know,
they wouldn't show it to you.
No, they certainly wouldn't. But it would
It's
be
a
leaked,
great big
perhaps.
club, and you ain't in it.
Yeah, I don't think they're all on the same page or anything like that. I don't think that your typical government school teacher understands that they're part of the Prussian education model designed to dumb people down and turn them into unquestioning worker drones. I don't think they realize that, but that's the system they're in. That's what it was created for, and that's not speculation on my part.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's true. Yeah. That's the sort of the system as it was created, the intention. And it has its ups and downs. I mean, remember, it's much harder to start factories in places that don't have some kind of structured public school system. I mean, Europe and the United States got successful for a reason, and one of those reasons...
It certainly wasn't public schools, because public schools didn't come along until about the time of the Great Depression, and certainly not mandatory. Mandatory attendance didn't come along till later.
So public schools on this continent started in the New England area. And where were your factories during the Civil War times? They expanded outward, and I think what they did was create, like we said, these sort of automatons, these mindless drones, or at least people who are more compliant to rules and used to the bells and whistles and these sorts of things. And now, you still have your seats of banking and power sitting in the Northeast and, say on the West Coast, wherever the population centers are.
Well, the government schools have definitely prepared people for what's happening now, because the message at the government schools has always been safety over risk. You got to go the safe road. You got to get a career with a corporation. You got to work hard for that company.
Except football. I mean, why do they do that?
You mean playing in football?
Yeah, why do they play football in government schools? It's the only schools where they can pretty much afford to have football teams. These are
bread and circuses.
Yeah,
dangerous sport. Bread and circuses does two things. The first thing it does is it lets the more aggressive members of your society blow off steam, which is necessary for them because they're the ones who would become the rebels if they didn't have at least some simulated risk in their life. And the other thing it does is bread and circuses, like you say, it keeps the population fat and stupid and happy. And actually, I'm going to say a third thing. They're training you to identify irrationally with a team or city or a geographic area, and they need you to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's true. And that also expands on a larger area with the so-called nation. 855-450-FREE. You can join us here on the radio. It's Free Talk Live.
Moose is the German Shepherd and hasn't had any kind of health problems at all. He has been on Dinovite since he's a puppy. DINOVITE.com. We tell anybody that has a dog, if there was something that you could do right from the beginning so that you don't have expensive veterinary bills, why would you not do it? Get the Dinovite.
Dinovite for life. You get some Dinovite, how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Did you know you can support freedom of speech just by visiting shop.freetalklive.com? You'll see links to Walmart, Love Java, Newegg, and more. Every day, Free Talk Live is at the forefront of the liberty movement as the biggest liberty-oriented talk show in the world, giving you a platform to be heard on any topic. Get listener-only specials without doing anything other than an extra click. Visit shop.freetalklive.com. Use the links and buy what you'd be buying anyway. Take action now. Save and support freedom. Visit shop.freetalklive.com. It's shop.freetalklive.com.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio is great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial in, toll free here. You can bring up anything you want. You want to comment on the mask madness that just keeps getting worse. We got criminal penalties coming in now with misdemeanor charges if you don't have a mask on, according to the Indiana government goons. Miami is forming its own mask enforcement unit, according to theweek.com. And there's just a myriad of other stories like this out there about various different state governments and threatening people and business owners or businesses cracking down. This week was supposed to be a big week. I think it was 2 days ago, Monday. Walmart was supposed to begin a mandatory mask thing, and as were a bunch of other businesses like CVS and Best Buy and just a myriad of them. Just a lengthy list of these things. And I did tell my little Mask World story yesterday, so I won't recap it. But if you want to hear what happened to me when I went down to Connecticut, and I did not wear a mask at any place, at any point. I don't have one, and I'm not going to take one. And I have objections that are religious to the mask, and also just period. I don't think that they are good for humanity. I think that it is dehumanizing to take away people's faces from them, the experience of being able to see the expressions that another person is making. I think this is very, very sad stuff. We're going to get into your calls and thoughts. In fact, Dogbite is calling from Indiana, watching us on YouTube. You're on Free Talk Live. Dogbite.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I heard about the 180-day fine or sentence, rather. And
maximum.
I actually had a bus driver. Yeah, and I actually had a bus driver call the police on me last Friday
wow.
for not wearing a mask. Now, I got a letter in my pocket from my doctor saying that I'm excluded from this as long as I can be 6 feet away from everybody. Last Thursday, I go into a bank. Guy stopped me at the front door, asked me, have you been sick? Have you had a cough? Have you had a cold? I had to stop him in his tracks and let him know, A, I'm 60 years old, B, I'm free, and C, I ain't answering these questions.
Yeah, it's none of your damn business.
Check.
Right? I shouldn't have to go through a health screening every doorway I walk into.
Yeah, and you know, at my job, I had to call the police earlier, didn't want to. Cop gets here, no mask, no gloves, all up in your face. This is about control.
Sure is.
How far can they push us? A year ago, the whole world was protesting. Hong Kong was protesting. Then they came with this COVID stuff, and they found out just how small the people's gonads are because we went from free to slave overnight.
Yeah, but it wasn't really like that. I mean, we weren't free a year ago, but it's even more obvious how unfree we are now. And it's sad how obedient people have been. Even people who should know better are being successfully persuaded to just go along to get along, and that's not going to get us anywhere. The Frederick Douglass quote that nobody read in the last segment is super applicable here. Power doesn't yield unless it's demanded, and right now people are not in a demanding mood. They're just going to do what they're told, and that does not lead to good things, ever.
Yep, and just to close this out, the Tree of Liberty needs a bit of water.
Don't leave yet, though. I do have a question for you. What happened on the bus? You said the bus driver called the cops. Did they show up?
Yeah, they showed up. I showed them my letter. He told the driver that according to the governor's order, he can do what he wants to. He is exempt.
Well, I think everybody should be exempt if they want to be.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
well, everybody is because HEPA means
of the people get sick.
Sorry, say that again, Kirby. I mean, dog bite.
I read a report last week. 0.04% of the people who test positive actually get sick enough to die.
Mm-hmm. Of those people who test positive,
0.04%.
That's not a whole lot.
Zero. No, it's not. I mean. I need a calculator to do that math.
Right. I mean, if you were given, if you came down with some kind of cancer and they told you that your survival rate was 99%,
you'd be like, no worries.
What are my chances, Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great call, Dog Bite. Thank you for making it tonight. I definitely appreciate hearing from you, and thanks for the stories.
You might whip up your will, right? And I think that's a good idea to have one.
Never hurts.
You might tell your kids you love them a little more often.
Sure.
But, hey.
According to theweek.com, if you don't wear a mask in Miami, it'll cost you $50 for the first offense, $100 for the second, and $500 every time after that. And if you pay them, you're a sucker. Miami-Dade County has the state's most COVID-19 infections reported per 100,000 people and the highest death toll, according to the Miami Herald. They say to try and slow the spread of the coronavirus, people must wear masks while in outdoor and indoor public settings, with few exceptions. To ensure people take the ordinance seriously, Mayor Francis Suarez announced Tuesday that 39 police officers will form a mask enforcement unit. Working 7 days a week.
Officers of the law.
Is that what you signed
together.
up for? Is that what you signed up for, officers out there? Was that what you had in mind when you became a police officer? That you would literally be the fashion cop? Because that's what we're talking about here. These government people are literally telling people what they have to wear. I mean, it used to be, and that's what the illusion of freedom that our last caller was pointing out. Like, he felt more free a year ago, like significantly more free. He described it as freedom, the life that we would have described as, basically living under near total domination by government and all of their mandates and these government people. But because you can, because when you walk out your front door, you can choose to turn left or turn right, and there's not like a spiked fenced wall in front of you, it feels like freedom. Because when you're getting dressed in the morning, you can choose which shirt to put on, which shoes to put on, what makeup if you use makeup, or what hat you're going to wear, or whatever, what rings and jewelry to adorn yourself with, or none of it. Well, with the exception of walking out naked, usually they'll arrest you for that.
You better do some adorning, yeah.
You can adorn yourself in whatever way you want, for the most part, in most places in the United States. And we used to get all upset, we as a nation, if I can speak that way. But people used to get upset at the idea of, burqas, for instance, people being forced to cover up themselves, being unable to express themselves, just having to wear this singular colored thing, don this covering that only shows one's eyes, and that was seen as offensive. Well, now that's happening here. Now, it's not happening to the full burqa extent, but a piece of that is happening here, and it's being embraced by many of the same people who would have been against the burqa in the past.
Yeah, if you had attempted to make women cover their face in America, you would have received a great deal of lashback.
Oh, yeah.
But if you make everybody cover their face,
then it's public health.
It's fine.
Yeah, totally fine.
Right. This just goes to show the Democrats and the liberals and their whole thing about, look, it doesn't matter what kind of tyranny we're talking about, so long as that tyranny is enforced equally.
There was actually a guy named Alexandre de Tocqueville who wrote a book called Freedom in America, who said Americans are so enamored of freedom or so enamored of equality that they'd rather be equal in slavery than unequal in freedom.
855-450-FREE. If you want to join us, you can weigh in on this discussion or bring up whatever is on your mind. Coming up, the Redskins are changing their name to what? Well, not sure yet exactly. They're taking your input, apparently. It's Free Talk Live.
News from news.bitcoin.com. The IRS is requesting information about privacy cryptos from people that are still filing their income tax forms. Coinbase may be planning to go public on the stock market this year. Stablecoin Tether is now circulating on the Bitcoin Cash network. Bitcoin.com is your source for getting started with cryptocurrencies, getting a wallet, buying Bitcoin Cash, mining, and all the latest cryptocurrency news at news.bitcoin.com. Log on now at news.bitcoin.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
The number of users who actually enjoy Facebook is down to 4. And Apple announces a new iPhone with the N-word on the back, knowing customers will buy it anyway. And now for the delayed and utterly thoughtless romantic gesture that is The Onion Week in Review. Self-identified 9/11 truther Dennis Shaw told reporters Tuesday he's absolutely convinced the United States government has orchestrated an intricate plot to systematically destroy the last 11 years of his life. Shaw, who since 2001 has spent nearly every waking minute poring over footage of the World Trade Center attack and even handing out truther pamphlets every afternoon, says the government is behind the gradual collapse of his personal and professional life, adding that the conspiracy, quote, goes all the way to the top.
Before 2001, I'd see my friend Stephen Copley every couple of weeks, and now he won't even answer my calls. The government got to him too. Think about it. My coworkers, my wife, my friends, everyone calling me crazy after September 11th and wanting nothing to do with me. What are the chances of that?
This is the Onion News Network.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll free if you want to join us. The number is 855-450 free like freedom. 855-450-3733. In the studio tonight, I'm Ian.
And Mark. Sorry.
And I'm nobody.
And Local.
Mark's a little slow.
I'm used to being last.
And that's Uncle Joe.
Bitcoin.com. Local.bitcoin.com is a place where you can go to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash. It's been around for a year now. They started it back in June of 2019, and you can use dozens of payment methods to make your purchase or make your sale. And there's no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site. That's because they never actually have possession of your crypto. It's all done through smart contracts. It's a pretty slick system there at local.bitcoin.com. It's a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Local.bitcoin.com. Toll-free number if you want to join us again, 855-450-FREE. Coming up, the Redskins. You've had this story in show prep for, I don't know, most of a week, Mark. You really obviously are interested in talking about it. We're going to get to that. But first, we will go to your calls and thoughts. And then if we get the chance, we'll get into a little bit of cryptocurrency news because John McAfee is back in the news after making a relatively renowned prediction. An infamous prediction,
yes,
back 2 or 3 years ago that Bitcoin would hit $1 million
by the end of this year,
or else he would eat a thing we generally can't say on the radio.
Yes,
on his body, presumably, unless he was talking
part.
about an animal. But we can get into that coming up here.
We can't say lesbian on the radio. We have to say woman in comfortable shoes.
Let's go to, first, though, Wesley calling from New Hampshire, watching us on our Twitch feed over at twitch.lrn.fm. Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, so yesterday I called in and I was reading a tweet from Eric July.
Eric July is a kind of a singer, rapper in I think like a rap metal band, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Relatively
it's
popular.
Called Backwards.
Right, relatively popular band, popular guy.
Now, were you listening, Wes, when he called in after?
I wasn't listening at the time, but I watched the clip. And
okay,
so that's
good.
That's what I'm calling in about.
Mm-hmm.
Ian said that I said something that I didn't, and I just want to clarify, like, for Ian to clarify, that I didn't say that Eric supports the feds coming in and kidnapping protesters.
Yeah, I think so somebody had called in after you and basically seemed to take up a position about that. I don't think I said that you said that. I think a previous caller is what I said. I don't think I specifically said it was you. But, yeah, I think you had called in to read a tweet or something that Eric had made that was very anti-communist, if I recall correctly. And then
I'm pretty anti-communist myself.
And then
me too.
And then you said the F word at the very end of it, and so we had to drop your call. So I don't think you really had much of a chance to say anything else besides that. But there was another guy who called in after you that also, I believe, tried dragging Eric through the mud. So I think I was responding to that person, not you.
Okay. So I just want to clarify yet again that you were not referring to me, you're referring to the caller after me.
Yeah, if I said your name, then I would have to apologize, but I don't think that I did. I think it was a previous caller is what I said. And maybe you thought that I was referring to you, but I don't think I was.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. So what is all this about, Wes? I mean, you'd called in to kind of bring this up. It looks like you're running a Twitter page that's trolling real hard and getting some negative attention. What are you trying to do out there?
Okay, so I saw that tweet, and I inferred from that tweet.
And
that
what
he
was the tweet again?
referring to-
Without saying the F word, do you happen to have it handy?
It was. I don't have it on hand right now, but people watched the stream last time, from yesterday. They can.
Wasn't
see
it something?
or they can just
Well,
go
the
to
reason I was
Eric's
asking
live
was because
Twitter.
we always have new listeners on. They weren't necessarily listening yesterday at the time. Wasn't essentially the gist of it that he wouldn't want to come to defend a communist from attack, but that ultimately he clarified later that that doesn't mean he's in favor of the federal government abducting people.
Right. So the very last sentence is the phrase "they get what they deserve," and I implied, from the context,
you inferred
what they're getting is the state, imposing violence on them. So I thought that's what he meant. I went on to debate with him. He clarified his intended meaning. And so my point in calling you guys was to see if you guys got that message as well, whether his intended meaning and what he said are conflicting. Because people can read that message and not get what he was intending to mean.
Well, that's typical
so
with texting and with these limited communications methods that we have. You have 140 characters or whatever, and there's only so much you can say.
I have a lot of sympathy for the position that,
you feel sorry for the position.
Look, we can look up what sympathy for means, and I can go ahead and you'll realize at some point, as we continue to define it over and over again, that
a communist sympathizer does not feel sorry for communists. He has some agreement. He has some understanding of why they feel the way they feel.
I see.
Right. So when there's a group of protesters out saying this thing or that thing, and a couple of years ago they were out saying, let's get rid of the NRA as a terrorist organization and blah, blah, blah. It's hard for me to get excited about these people's position. And
But do you care if they get pulled off the streets into a unmarked van?
I think it's bad.
Right.
But the question is, it's been inferred, it's been basically said, you cowardly militia people that were walking onto the state capitals 2 months ago trying to defend freedom, why don't you defend freedom now? Why don't you shoot a few federal agents? Because we're too cowardly to do it. We don't have any guns because we gave them all up because we'd be rapists if we kept them.
Well,
or whatever nonsense the leftists are saying.
That's not true, though, for all of them. I mean, again, this is what I was saying last night, is you can't jump to a conclusion about what somebody believes without having spoken to them first. There are leftists who have guns. But these are people that are jumping
to conclusions right now about me because I'm not doing what they want me to do. They've snapped their fingers.
Were you arguing
and
with
not
all
dancing
of them
for
simultaneously?
No.
And how did they time it right to all get that out at the same time?
There are people saying it, and they are mad, right? They're mad. How come I have snapped my fingers and you don't dance? Because I'm not dancing for you. You've been a terrible dance partner in the past. That's why.
Yeah, so this comes down to, again, the point that I was making last night, that we went to the Pastor Martin Niemöller quote, that first they came for the communists, and then they came for the trade unionists, then they came for the Jews, and then they came for me, and there was no one else left to stand up. And maybe
what that doesn't say about the Martin Niemöller poem is maybe you could have stopped after the communists. Maybe then you could have started. Oh, first they came for the communists, and I did nothing because I hate communists. Then they came for the trade unionists. I stood up, and there were still plenty of people.
And I think that's a problem. I think that even though we may not agree, or I may not agree with communism, and I firmly disagree with
killed a lot more people than Nazism did.
Governments did. Communists themselves.
Governments calling themselves communists killed a lot more people than governments calling themselves Nazis.
But you can't say that the people calling themselves communists today killed people, because not all of them have. Some of them are just living on a commune together, and they're doing their commie thing. And the same thing's true with the Nazis. You can't say that all the Nazis are gassing Jews today, because not many of them are.
But the Nazis are legitimately considered to be terrible people, and the swastika is a hate crime in some countries.
But nonetheless,
the hammer and sickle is not.
But nonetheless, I will still stand up for their right to hold their beliefs, which is what I have done. Where Christopher Cantwell,
their beliefs are statist, therefore violent. I will not stand for their beliefs.
The Nazis?
Any of them.
Okay. I'm not standing for their beliefs.
Anybody who advocates using violence.
There's a difference between standing for their beliefs and standing for the right to have them.
Exactly.
I may not agree with what you say, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it.
Yes.
Now, of course, the classic argument against that is what they call the paradox of tolerance, which basically, if you don't violently react when people say this sort of thing, then those ideas will take over. Of course, that presupposes that they're necessarily going to do better in the marketplace, and I disagree vehemently with that statement.
Yeah, and I don't require reciprocation in order to stand up for people's right to say ugly things and things I disagree with. And if you don't, Mark, that's fine. Just, don't expect anyone to help you out if you ever need it someday. 855-450 free like freedom, because you've got to put it out there for it to come back.
Get healthy, not high, with 100% pure CBD powerful natural pain relief from Veterans Vitality. GCN listeners, have you ever thought about how CBD may help you? I'm sure you have heard about the many benefits of CBD. Well, here's your opportunity to try before you buy. Created by veterans and for everyone who deserves better choices, our CBD is derived from organic hemp, grown in the USA and third-party tested. Veterans Vitality CBD saves you as much as 25 to 50% over our competition, and a portion of all sales is contributed to veteran nonprofits and events. Many of our customers have experienced improved quality of life, help with anxiety, PTSD, and overall well-being. Our products do not contain THC. They are safe, non-addictive, effective, and 100% legal. GCN listeners, get your free trial bottle of premium CBD by simply paying shipping and handling at GCNFreeCBD.com. That's GCNFreeCBD.com. Again, GCNFreeCBD.com. Offered by Veterans Vitality Premium CBD.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have two convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our made in the USA microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part? Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited if you want to join us. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. By the way, Wes dropped off the line. I didn't mention that. It was toward the end of his call there, or toward the end of the last segment. He just dropped out. But we were discussing commies and whether or not people should defend them. And I don't think that their ideas deserve to be defended because they're terrible. But I think that as human beings, they are still humans, and they have the chance, I believe, to change their mind, especially the younger ones, the ones that haven't been around. I mean, if you're talking about a 70-year-old commie, you probably aren't going to be as successful at changing their minds, and it's probably not worth the time to try because they're not going to be around too much longer. But if you're talking about a 19-year-old or a 21-year-old or something who describes themselves as a socialist or a commie, I wouldn't say that person is beyond hope. I wouldn't say that person is beyond coming to new conclusions. And if all you do is you treat them like they're the enemy, then that's how they're going to treat you.
I don't treat them like they're the enemy. I would say that if you want me to take sides in a conflict between foolish communists advocating for violence and violent fascists.
How do you know that—
Hold on, let me finish my statement. And violent fascists, just call me Switzerland. I don't care.
Okay, so you're jumping to the conclusion that everyone in the streets in various different cities are foolish communists advocating for violence, right?
Whether they know it or not, they're not too far from that. Sure.
So I must be a communist because I've been in the streets at Black Lives Matter protests?
At what percentage?
You want to jack his stuff?
Do you think this?
He's got a nice car out there.
Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah, that's a nice
We
thing about
could take
cars.
him.
They have names on them.
Actually, I think yours is owned by a corporation, isn't it?
I don't know who it's owned by. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not owned by me though. I haven't owned a car in some time.
Prepare to be expropriated.
I think that that in many cases, young people that are out there, the Antifa sorts, the BLM sorts, these kind of people are under the impression that they'll create a government that somehow they control and will somehow benefit them
That's
and their
the same
beliefs.
fantasy that Chris Cantwell and the Nazis have.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, but the thing is, you're just lumping everybody into a category of, oh, you're at a protest, you must be a communist. And that's not fair. It's doing the same thing that people like Chris Cantwell do, where they treat everybody like they're in, groups, and that everybody in the group must be the same. And that's false.
That's his immigration argument, is that anybody born outside the United States is necessarily a communist, and therefore we cannot possibly let them in, which is nonsense.
I just have no interest in playing their little reindeer games. Not going to do
What game are we talking about here? Are you saying, by saying playing a reindeer game, are you saying that when the news reports and others are saying, and there's video of it happening, of men in unmarked vans pulling up and snatching people off the streets who are not committing a crime, by the way, because they have not been charged with such, taking them to some sort of questioning facility, demanding that they answer questions, and then when they refuse, or at least in one guy's case, he said he wasn't going to answer questions, they cut him loose back onto the streets again. Are you saying you have no opinion about that?
Oh, I have an opinion. That's the communism that people who are, many of these organizers that claim to be actual communism, that's the communism they're looking for.
Okay,
that's what communism
individual
has
who was
looked up.
abducted.
Wait a second.
How do you know they're a communist?
I don't know about the individual who was abducted.
So why do you have an opinion about them?
Did I say I had an opinion?
Well, you just went on. I asked you about whether you would have any comment about that, and you went off on the organizers. I'm talking about a guy who may not have been an organizer.
Let me make this abundantly clear. If I haven't been clear.
You are not. Go ahead.
I am going to be clear now.
Great.
I don't care what happens to you if you go to a communist rally.
How do you know it's a communist rally?
Because it's organized by communists.
How do you know
that? Does not follow. The 420 rally was not an anarchist rally, although it was organized by an anarchist. See, there are definitely some committed Marxists involved in the leadership of Black Lives Matter. Your attitude is what's going to let them take all of the legitimately angry people who are not out there for communism.
That's right.
They're there because people are getting murdered, and make them their allies.
Yeah, you should know better than this, Mark.
I think that the BLM movement will probably benefit all of us. But I'm not going out there, and I'm not playing with these people. I'm not putting my life in danger, my wealth,
Your life is in danger by
You're
going.
damn right. If you go out there, your life is in danger.
In Manchester, New Hampshire.
I'm not driving to
It takes
3 hours of my life to go to Manchester. I'm not going there.
Okay, but your life would be in danger?
Something that I'd like you to think about is think of all the people that you've convinced that anarchy was a good idea. How many of them agreed with you on everything before you convinced them?
None of them would have.
You're just writing
about anarchists.
I think this is sad because you and some of these other people who share this particular viewpoint that screw the commies, I'm not going to help these people. Right. That you're willing to just throw other human beings to the wolves of the state, and you have no interest whatsoever in persuasion.
Statists
you have no
deserve the state.
Were you a statist at one time in your life?
And how do you think I became otherwise?
Was it because people ignored you and treated you like crap?
No, it's because people told me the state does what the state does.
How did they tell it to you? Did they have a conversation with you?
Hey, look, you can listen. I'm on Free Talk Live 4 days a week. For the last 18 years. Anybody can tune in on it, on the internet or online to listen to a little bit of me talking about how the state does the things that the state does. And this is the sort of thing that the state does.
Yes, exactly. It makes us hate each other so that we can't cooperate against
you're part of the problem.
common
I
enemy.
don't hate people because
you hate them because of their beliefs.
I hate them because communism is a clear set of rules that you've seen for the last century.
But why hate
that
them?
has killed tens of millions
Just because
of people
are
because they're
confused.
stupid.
Yeah, this is your problem. You look down your nose at people.
I guess I'm
Shameful.
maybe more forgiving because when I was 20, I was a communist. I described myself as a Marxist.
I was a
you
communist.
know what cured me? I read Marx.
Indeed. Same here.
Same. Seriously? So you're condemning people as bad people because
used to be
they're where you were a few decades ago? You might want to rethink that because
what do you mean by condemn?
I think there may be hope for some of these people.
Again, I don't care.
You don't care.
You know what?
You don't care about human
to
beings being abducted by men in unmarked
I'm going to
vans.
report on it because it shows what the depredations of the state are, so that I can continue to show communists who want as much state as they can get. They just think that they can control it. I'm going to show them that they're never going to control it.
Well, they're not going to listen to you because you don't care about them.
That's right. We were talking about that.
Exactly.
We were talking about that ethos thing. And you know how you create ethos? You know how you do that? You can do it with a heel and a foil, right? A baby face and a heel. You can do it with a good cop, bad cop routine.
So you're a bad cop?
Yeah.
You're just the callous
Ladies and gentlemen,
a-hole.
if you are out there advocating for communism, advocating for more government in a protest,
you don't think they're a human being. You don't care what happens to them.
well, what do you
dehumanize
They're
them.
obviously
let them get
human
snatched
beings.
up. Let them get thrown in a jail cell.
No,
Hey, that's what they
wouldn't say
deserve,
that.
right?
I want to be able to report on their plight, and I do. Right? We talked about it, and I will continue to talk about that when that sort of thing happens. But if you advocate for the state,
but you don't feel
and
bad.
you get the state, have some state.
But you don't feel bad about what happens to these people because they have a different belief system
I can't
than you?
have bad look.
You
man,
can't empathize, even though you used to be those people. You can't empathize with them anymore.
50,000 people will die in America this week. Do you empathize for them?
Dying naturally
families?
happens naturally. It's not another man's
It's still
hand.
a tragedy
you
if they
can't-
die.
No, it's natural.
You can't save every puppy on the pound, but if we're going to literally ally ourselves only with people who agree with us, then we are going to lose, and we are going to either die or be enslaved. The reality is that the great thing about anarchy is everybody's going to do it different.
See, this is the premise that you guys are assuming. You're assuming that you must stand and fight. And in order to fight, you must have an army. In order to have an army,
I'm not
you
talking
must
about
have
fighting.
people. Yes, you are. You're all about fighting.
No, I'm not.
Look, man, I've been on the air with you for 18 years. I'm telling you, you're a conflict-oriented person.
No, I just want to live free.
I know.
They're the ones who want to fight.
If you wanted to
And I
live
don't want to
free,
fight.
you'd buy a sailboat and get away from all
You
the
don't
people.
get to tell me what living free is like.
That's what I'm
okay?
telling you it is.
Well, then, I don't believe you.
I've spent the last half decade
You
trying
had
to
a sailboat and you turned it in after a year. So
Yeah.
don't tell me what
I get seasick.
anything about sailboats. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us here, and hopefully you've got a little more compassion than this guy. What a disappointment. 855-450-FREE. You can join us on Free Talk Live. Hour 3 is next, and the Discord lines are open at discord.lrn.fm.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,810, silver at $19.65, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,132. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of Kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free Kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic have already devastated the world. Over 14 million people have tested positive for the virus, and nearly 600,000 have died since it was first identified in December. And cases continue to rise. But the human cost from the economic fallout could be worse than the virus itself, as the world plunges into a deep and possibly prolonged recession, which will lead to disease and starvation across the global south. Mint Press News reports that's why the international charity, Oxfam, is calling on the international community to agree to its proposal of an economic rescue package for all. The package entails 6 key features that it hopes to lay out across the world. The consequences of inaction will be extremely serious. As many as 12,000 people could die every day from COVID-linked hunger, which is more than those dying daily from the virus itself. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The Aurora, Colorado Police Department has been under scrutiny over the death of Elisha McLean for over the last month since it finally got the attention it deserved. Now, they are now facing yet another lawsuit after an officer with the department held a doctor at gunpoint on his own property for no reason. The Free Thought Project reports Dr. P.J. Palmer, who is an Indian American, was dropping off gear from a Boy Scout trip at the Mango House building, which is a community center and shared space for refugees that he owns. For those who may be unaware, Palmer founded Artist Family Medicine, a private practice that serves settled refugees, and Mango House, a home for refugees with activities and services that include dental care, food and clothing banks, churches, scout troops, and after-school programs. He's a pillar of the community and a selfless man who has dedicated his life to helping others. U.S. Customs and Border Protection published a new assessment titled Privacy Impact Assessment for the CPB license plate reader technology, outlining the agency's plan to combine its database on license plate images with ones from local and state governments, law enforcement agencies, parking garages, toll booth cameras, and financial institutions. Activist Post reports the U.S. has a massive network of automatic license plate readers typically found on police cars and toll booths, used to collect license plates of vehicles passing by. In particular, one database, called the Wrecker Public Safety Network, law enforcement are given real-time access to license plates. It captures approximately 150 million plate reads per month. To better protect the nation, the CPB's new assessment indicates it now wants direct access to those databases. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A report finds it's not okay to just start talking to people you don't know, and a monstrosity is created in the Frito-Lay laboratory. This is the Onion Week in Review. Local newborn Nathan Jameson surprised the world earlier this morning by irrevocably losing all faith in humanity after just 6 days. Though he's not yet developed the capacity for speech, spokespeople for the 6-day-old baby have confirmed he already knows that humans cannot be trusted and that most people lack self-awareness about their own destructive tendencies.
While most people need around 30 or 40 years to truly understand that the vast majority of humanity is shallow and irredeemable, baby Nathan's convinced that he has seen all that he needs to see. People have been nice and even brought him toys and presents. But the fact is, Nathan knows they're all full of shit.
And in this week's Science Report, botanists discover trees are all slowly trying to strangle each other. In other news, a fun-loving turtle is all business when it comes to feeding time, and a partygoer rolls a couple of fat burritos to pass around.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You bring up anything that you want. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight is Ian.
And Mark.
And nobody.
And we're going to get right into your phone calls and thoughts. We've been, rediscussing something that came up last night, and that is this sort of vitriolic, anti-communist, anything that happens to these people I don't care about attitude that you have expressed here tonight, Mark. And it was
I said I had sympathy for it, yeah.
Meaning you agree with the communists, or what are you saying there?
No, I have sympathy for the idea that one isn't going to put one's time and energy and potentially life on the line to defend people's right to go out on the street, set things on fire, and advocate for more state.
Sure. Yeah, you only have a limited amount of time in your life. There's no doubt about that. And if you've got other things to do, I totally understand.
One of those things
that.
I do.
So do you really think they were advocating for more government when they burned down that police station?
Yep, I do.
Because I thought that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
And how do you know they were communists that did that? Did you talk to them?
Nope, I didn't.
Okay, so you're jumping to conclusions about these people.
I did
so
watch,
you make the assumption. Okay.
I did watch BLM people shout down the mayor of Minneapolis when he said he wasn't willing to entirely abolish the police. Like, just shout him down.
Well, I'd probably
Sounds
yell
like-
at him, too, if I thought it would do any good. I want him to abolish the police.
Yeah, I'm with him on that one.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
They're absolutely right.
We read the list of demands here on the air during the Chaz, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, which likely was run by a lot of people we disagree
How'd
with.
that go?
They shut it down.
Oh, why?
Probably because
They couldn't keep people alive there. There were shootings over and over again. These people who are anti-gun
They weren't anti-gun. See, that's the thing.
You
keep
do
saying these
realize that people will die in an ANCAP society as well, and some
You
of
do
them
realize
will
that
be shot.
People die with the police around too, right?
Not at that rate.
Oh, really?
There were two shootings there over several days. They have
were like 4.
50 shootings every day in Chicago.
And you keep saying these people as though you know word one about what those folks actually believe. They're a group of individuals.
Yep,
and
that's
some
true.
of them are there for reasons that you don't understand.
You know what?
Because you've never asked.
I will work my butt off. I will slave and toil almost my entire adult life to make available to them a radio program that they can call in and share their opinions on. How's that?
So you've
it's
done
more
nothing.
than they've done for the world.
Again, putting people into groups, presuming you know what these people believe. And I think that's really the saddest thing about what you're saying here is you're just writing everybody off because they're near in physical proximity to some people who have ideas that you find distasteful. Well, my perspective is that if we want to change people's minds about this, and it's a good thing to do a radio show, kudos to you for that, Mark, but that's not doing anything extra than what you're already doing, but good for you. But I'm willing to go out and actually meet people where they're at and try to have some sort of a positive influence on them for the ideas of liberty where they're at. Because there's a good chance that those people who you believe are communists are not going to tune into Free Talk Live because they don't know we exist and they don't have any reason to find us. Okay?
You know, they may even believe that they're communists. The thing is, people who are communists are not just like when we say we want capitalism.
I don't say that.
We don't want.
Right, I don't say anarchism, communism, or capitalism.
Well, regardless of what words used to be politically correct, my point is when we say we want capitalism, they think we want a very specific thing, more or less what we have now, which is exactly the opposite of what we want. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, communism has been a disaster every time it was tried. But after 12 years of government propaganda, if you're going to abandon everybody who fell for the propaganda, then there's nobody left to convince.
Yep. And
You will have zero impact if you don't learn to have impact on people who disagree with you.
I totally agree. Let's go to Harley. He's on the line in Niagara Falls, New York, or at least maybe he's in Canada. I didn't ask to specify. Harley, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello. Yes, it's Niagara Falls, New York.
Excellent. Welcome, sir.
Hello. Well, I just wanted to jump in on this whole. I presume you're talking about the Seattle and Portland people being snatched off the street. I personally have not heard anywhere else that it's being done. Have you guys heard anywhere else?
Not yet, but anywhere else it's being done, I'm going to oppose it there too.
The thing is, once they've done it and nobody's done anything about it, they're going to do it again. Sooner or later, they'll do it to us because they don't like us either.
The police do detain people to question them. That's what they're allowed to do.
Generally,
if they have reasonable articulable suspicion they've committed a crime.
Actually, for arrests, the standard is probable cause. Reasonable articulable suspicion is for a Terry
Is that
stop.
what you're saying, though, Harley? Are you saying that snatching someone off the streets and taking them to a holding cell is considered a detention in your mind, not an arrest? Not a kidnapping?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're just apologizing for the police
they're
state.
detaining them to question them, right?
Hey, if you love our government, you should check out the Chinese one.
Yeah, you're just apologizing for tyranny.
I'm not sure. I'm not an attorney.
I'm not apologizing. That's your propagandist interpretation.
You just said that you think it's okay to snatch people off the streets so long as you call it a detainment.
No, you said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that was detaining someone.
5 words in edgewise,
what are you saying it is?
I can put my own words to it.
Go right ahead. What are you saying it is?
It's police officers with federal jurisdiction detaining people to question them.
Okay, so that is what you said. You said that what I said wasn't what you said when I said that you just...
He didn't just say it was okay. The question is, do you believe, because detention and arrest are pretty much identical legally, so the question is, do you think it's okay that the police are doing
they're not.
this?
Miranda rights to an arrest. Detention. They have to, if they arrest you, they have to Mirandize
That's
you.
false.
So
that's what they do in.
They get to ask.
Just hold on, man. Before you go on about something you don't know about. Okay, so what you don't understand is that they do that in the movies, but they don't do it in real life. The only time you get Mirandized in real life
what you
is if
don't
they
realize is there's a legal distinction there.
What you don't realize is that the law is but the tyrant's will.
Yes, but the fact is, the Miranda rights are supposed to be read. Now, obviously, the police can break the law anytime they want, but they're supposed to be read prior to a questioning, not after or before an arrest. As long as they're not going to question you, they don't have to read your Miranda rights. So it could be hours between when you are actually taken from the streets and then they finally come to you with whatever questions they have. That's when they have to read the Miranda rights.
So now that we've agreed that they're detaining people,
I'm not agreeing
snatching
with
them
that.
off the street and throwing them in a black bag hat like the V for Vendetta movie.
What a shame.
So
do you consider
we're past
yourself a
that point,
libertarian?
right?
Do you consider yourself like freedom-minded? Because you're actually defending the police state here, and it's sad. It's sad. Just because they're doing it to people you don't like.
Slow it down a bit. You got to slow it down a bit. Really. You're pushing your side so hard, you don't realize that Mark is right. The communists, which is just a small subset of Marxists and socialists, they want to destroy the country that protects you.
The country doesn't protect me. The country threw me in jail for 1.5 years for smoking weed. You want some protection like that? I'll come and give it to you.
Because you broke the law.
Yeah,
right?
you're not a libertarian.
Yeah,
You're
and the law is what a bunch of tyrants got together and decided they were going to do so that they could steal your money and have a good excuse. And you're too big a moron to even recognize what they're doing.
Yeah.
Ian, what difference does it make if he's a libertarian? How did you come up with that opinion? Why did you make it such a big deal about it? I don't understand.
Well, he said he gave the impression that he actually cared about freedom, but he actually doesn't. He's a state worshiper.
When did he give it?
I think he's called the show before, but anyway, he was definitely defending the state. Whether or not he's a libertarian, I think is pretty clear he's not, based on the words that came out of his mouth.
I'm looking at trying to figure out the difference between detention and arrest, and if you can move somebody from one location to another
during
with
a detention.
And I'm curious about that because, in a nation of laws, that would be an interesting distinction. I want to know about that.
I actually think that there's very little difference between detention and arrest. The definition of those words wasn't the point.
Either way, they're taking away your freedom, and it's outrageous.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
News from news.bitcoin.com. BTC miners give off a signal of intending to sell. Does this mean a bear cycle? New Zealand police seized $91 million from a Russian exchange operator. Anti-crypto SEC head stepping down, making Bitcoin ETFs more likely. And you can make money by referring people to exchange.bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is your source for getting started with cryptocurrencies, getting a wallet, buying Bitcoin Cash, mining, and all the latest cryptocurrency news at news.bitcoin.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio, you've got Ian,
Mark,
and nobody. And just to briefly touch on something we talked about earlier, you know how I said, if you lose your ethos, you lose the argument and you lose your chance of convincing people? What I just did was a perfect example of that. By blowing up at him instead of finding a better way, it was probably entertaining for the listeners, or at least a fraction of probably a pretty good proportion of them who agree with me. But certainly he will never take my opinion seriously. Or not for a long time after that. So
maybe show that's one of the costs.
Everybody does,
and that's okay. It's okay to acknowledge it. That you might have approached things in a more rational manner or a more persuasive manner, I guess is the right term. But on the other hand, you are doing a show, and the real benefit is the listener, right? So if somebody calls in with an opinion like that, then they are effectively useful as a foil, in that even if you do burn that person's opinion of you, there may be people on the other side who are just listening that are persuaded in one way or the other. So
yeah, that may well be true. But the reasonable part of the point that I was getting there is that this idea that the police protect you, or the fact that something is against the law, means that someone should be arrested for. It used to be against the law to be Jewish in Germany. People should not be arrested though for being Jewish, even though I vehemently disagree with. Every religion but mine, don't we all?
I'm going from nolo.com here and talking about detentions versus arrests, and I think the most important phrase to use when we start this is that there is no bright line between what is a detention and what is an arrest.
Yeah, that was my point.
Well, I don't care whether it was a detention or an arrest. It's inappropriate. It's wrong. It is not cool.
Well, when I was listening,
people off the streets.
I hear that you're saying it's not cool, Ian. When I was hearing them talking about snatching people off the street, the first thing I thought of was, my God, that's got to be illegal. And the best I can tell, it may not be. And
the ACLU is suing, so they believe it's illegal.
Well, let's find out. And that's what that's what the ACLU's for.
Yep.
And I support them in this. I support them in lots of things.
Okay, I'm glad you support them in this.
I wish they would take.
That's the first supportive thing you've said all night.
Again, I don't care what happens to you if you're hanging out with commies. Just to be clear.
Okay, so you don't care what happens to me, because I went to the Black Lives Matter event. Was that a mistake?
No, I don't think so. I think you got some good footage and whatever. But I mean, did you convince anybody of anything?
It wasn't about getting good footage. That wasn't the purpose of me being there. The reason why I wanted to go there is the same reason I went to the Reopen New Hampshire protests, was to reach out to the people who I normally would not be connected with, who have differing belief systems as me.
And also people who are very angry at a certain group of people that I dislike more than any other group of people, the government, and have the stones and the energy to show up and do something about it. Where were the Boogie Boys when Duncan Lemp got murdered? Where were they? We weren't out in the streets. We should have been. I tried to get people out in the streets at the time. They wouldn't go. So do I have some respect for the people who show up at those rallies? Absolutely. I just don't have any respect for them as economists.
Right.
Yeah, they're terrible economists.
And I'm not willing to just write somebody off because they're at a starting point where we have a disagreement. We have some agreement on some things. And as I mentioned before, and I didn't get in to finish, I don't think, the thought, was that we went through the demands of the Chaz. We went through item by item on this show, and most of them, the supermajority, I think it was 17 out of 19 of their justice-related demands, we agreed with completely. Now, I don't think you were on that particular show, Mark, but of the hosts who were in the studio on that particular night, we were all like, yeah, that makes sense. Now, when they got to their economic demands, we were completely in disagreement on that point. And I want to be able to build bridges with people and work with them and show them the areas we agree on, and then maybe we can come to some sort of conclusion or a better understanding of the areas in which we disagree, and maybe over time they will be persuaded. You asked, did I convince anybody? Well, you generally don't convince somebody of the validity of your ideas on the first go-around. But what I did do in Manchester, and nobody, you were there as well, so you were interacting with some of the same folks, was I did, and in that particular case, I decided I wanted to bring out secession flyers just to see how that went over. And they actually went over pretty well. I mean, there was one guy who tore the flyer up, which that happens. If you give out 1,000 flyers, eventually somebody's going to, and I didn't do 1,000 at that event, but if you give out a few hundred flyers, eventually somebody's going to throw it back in your face because they're mad about it. But for the most part, people were interested in what I was presenting to them. Now, I don't sit there and have a conversation with them about it unless they want to ask me questions. And there was one young lady who came up after I'd handed her the flyer, after she'd looked at it, and she came over and she had questions, and I talked to her, and we talked about, no government and a lot of cool things that I had a great conversation with her, and I would never have had that conversation. She was probably not any older than like 20. So she was inquisitive. She was curious. And I didn't jump to any conclusions about her. I didn't look at her and that dirty communist. How dare she come? I mean, the attitude that I'm hearing from you and from Harley in the chat room here is to just completely dismiss other human beings. And it's just sad.
That's because you don't understand nuance. I mean, like, it's part of you, right? Like, you just don't get nuance. You're either with us or against us. You're a George Bush.
Your attitude.
No, it's not.
No, that's your attitude.
It's not. It's seriously not. Like, there's a difference between me wishing ill on you and me not caring. Okay? There are 8 billion people on the planet, and I don't care about most of them because I can't. I cannot physically care.
That's fine.
It's not possible. Now, if you want
But you're
outrage,
not defending the cops abducting people like that caller was.
I am not defending it. I think it's I think that it's an ironic example to these people who want government to function the way they want it to function.
These people, which again, you don't know who these people are because you've never actually
because we're
bothered
talking
to talk
about
to them.
groups here. I cannot.
No, I'm
speak.
talking about individuals.
Which individual?
And
the
that's
one
the
that
nuance that you don't understand.
The one that was
because
kidnapped?
you're looking. There was more than one, from what I understand, but there is at least one. But I'm talking about individuals, and you and these other people who are taking similar positions as you can only see groups. And it's sad.
All I can tell you is that I have been scolded online for not getting out and defending the protesters with guns, like picking up guns against the government. Because those protesters, for whatever reason, don't want to do it themselves.
Well, I don't care what people online are saying to you.
Oh, well, now you don't care.
Those people are not real. The people in...
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. They're hiding behind their computer screens, and they're irrelevant. Okay? In reality, in real life, I'm out in the streets. Nobody's out in the streets. We're talking to people. We're connecting with people. That's how minds get changed, not by just sitting in your own little echo chamber on the internet talking with each other about how bad the communists are.
I'm not looking to change minds. I've tried changing
minds. Then why
minds
don't you get off the air?
For a long time. No, I'm giving people the opportunity. I'm telling them the ideas. I'm telling the most moral philosophy.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going there with flyers and handing them out to people. No, you keep saying that, but that's not true. I don't have the actions of somebody who wants to conflict. I want to bring people to an understanding. There was no conflict at the BLM.
Well, I certainly go where people who are angry at the government are, because that's where you find sensible people.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to may be even more nervous than you are. And the way things are now, your references have never been more important. Here are 3 tips. First, know that employers are checking. Every hire is under the microscope these days. Second, they won't just be checking references you provide. Figure that all of your ex-employers will get a call and be asked, would you hire him or her again? Third, assume you will be Googled. So before you apply, remove all those party animal photos from your Facebook page. Even if you're not in the job market, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial in here toll free at 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And you can also join us on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. In the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Mark,
and nobody.
Ethereum smart contracts enable Intercoin to be traded against Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as a growing set of tokens pegged to your favorite fiat currency. Intercoin can be used as to turn these into virtual versions of Bitcoin or US dollars that have all the advanced features of Intercoin community currencies. They'd finally be spendable in everyday payments, be programmable, instantly convertible, generate analytics, and more. When done, people can cash out back into the original versions. Think of Intercoin as a decentralized Layer 2 solution that isn't controlled by anyone. Intercoin is attempting to regain some of our freedoms that are threatened on the internet and in meat space, and we think that's important here on Free Talk Live, so we accepted $40,000 worth of Intercoin tokens from Intercoin Incorporated for advertising. If you think freedom's important too, check out Intercoin at intercoin.org, and you can invest in this project and potentially make big gains or just be involved and perhaps shape its future. Intercoin.org. As we continue more of your calls and thoughts here, we go to David. He's in Michigan, listening in Jackson to WKHM. Hey, David.
Gosh darn right, Jackson, Michigan. Good evening, gentlemen.
Welcome. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get into too loud, and but I do have a real question.
Yes, sir.
Been 7 decades on Earth, all of them in the United States of America. Please, men, explain to me what is the difference between freedom, and believe me, I'm all about freedom, and law. In other words,
laws are what they make when they take your freedom.
Yep. Laws are opinions backed by a gun.
I appreciate that. So do you advocate absolutely no law?
I advocate for natural law, which is the one you can't ignore.
Yeah, I advocate not for no rules. What I advocate for most importantly and most stridently is that no corporation should be given infinite power and a license to kill and made answerable only to themselves. And that's exactly what a government is. It is a corporation with a license to kill.
Hang on, man.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up in America just like I did, and you're still here.
Yeah.
So if there's no law whatsoever, corporate. Let corporate do what it does. If there's no law, where is the check? Just do whatever you want, like Chicago?
Well, the check is in other people. What are you going to do if somebody aggresses against you? You are going to defend yourself.
Don't look too. Well, not to interrupt you, but don't look too far down the road here. 94 at Detroit, Cleveland, and Chicago to our west. Is
all
that
cities
how
with
you want it?
No, all cities with large amounts of disarmament. I mean, it's very, very difficult to have a gun in those places, is it not?
Well, they rule their own folks. In other words, there's 60 different gangs. I understand Chicago, loosely affiliated with the drugs, the guns, and all the stuff that goes along with crime.
Well, the gangs have guns.
Do you want that to run rampant? Just walk in here with 16 guys?
No, I don't want the government to have a war on drugs and create a utopia for organized crime, which is what they have done. But then why are they doing that? Well, because what government does is they come to you and they say, we want to sell you some protection. Nice place you got here. It should be protected. Okay? So pay us for protection. And guess what? Hey, it's my chance to talk. And guess what? If you don't buy the product from them, whether you want it or not, they are going to either kill you or put you in prison. So they are a greater risk to me than any common criminal out there. I have never been kidnapped and held for a year against my will by a common criminal. But your heroes in government did just
Rich.
that.
Gosh, settle down for a second.
His name's Nobody.
Nobody. Okay,
you can call me Rich if you want to.
Let me make a more less impassioned approach here. So currently, you probably have fire insurance on your house, right?
Well, most certainly.
Yeah. Okay. So you got fire insurance in your house. Now, so if something bad happens to your house, like fire, your house will be covered. But your next door neighbor, they don't have the same fire insurance or maybe fire insurance at all. If a fire burns down their house, tough noogies, right? What we want government for is protection. And in your case, what you're talking about is protection against gangs that we don't have much control over. Because although government can be defined as the most successful criminal organization in a given geographic area, it has this veneer of control. And it's certainly
that's what I'm trying to ask
stability.
You guys, is what is the fight? What is the line between freedom and government? In other words, if
monopolies.
Freedom says, hey, I can go out and fish the stream without a fishing license.
Yeah, it's quite simply monopolies is the answer. If you have to be governed by a group of people in a given geographic area, you don't have a choice. And those people can ultimately do what they want. Take a look at San Francisco. You can't build anything, you can't do anything, you can't open it at certain times. Like it's a mess, and you wouldn't want to live there, and neither would I. And that's because they're a monopoly in a desirable place to live. You and I live in places that are a little less desirable. There's lots of them out there, the kind of rural areas where people can have a little more freedom, maybe enjoy the mountains, the streams, the trees.
Yes, but we cannot have these thugs running rampant, and totally disregarding the law.
Sure.
and loot, steal.
Well, if somebody loots
Hold on. Are you talking about the government? When you say thugs, are you talking about the government thugs, or are you talking about like other criminal thugs?
No, just street thugs.
Okay, so I live in New
with
Hampshire.
no check, with no check from police.
I live in New Hampshire, where we have relative freedom to carry guns and defend ourselves.
We do here also.
Yeah. And are you having a problem with thugs where you live, or are you only saying that's in Detroit?
No, but it's just down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't go to Detroit.
Yeah, so...
I lived in Ann Arbor, which is closer than you, and I avoided Detroit like the plague.
Southern Michigan prison town, Jackson, Michigan.
That's where I was born.
How's that prison working out? It clearly hasn't stopped the thugs you're talking about, right?
Well, they keep packing them in there. You have to build more. They keep packing them in there, have to build more, which I don't mind.
I think if you actually looked at the numbers, David, and thank you for the call tonight. I do appreciate the conversation. If you looked at the numbers, I think you'd find a lot of the people in that prison are actually folks who've never harmed another person. They may have sold some drugs, but that's a voluntary interaction between human beings. There's a lot of those people sitting in prison cells who could be out being productive members of society, but because the largest criminal gang, the people with the monopoly on violence, that's the part you weren't saying, Mark, the monopoly you're talking about is a monopoly on violence that these government goons have. They have been throwing peaceful people like nobody, our co-host here, who went to jail for a year for selling some cannabis, a completely peaceful act, and some purported LSD. But again, completely peaceful act that no one was harmed. People were choosing to involve themselves in that, and the state people went after him. And then, so that prison that you're talking about is likely full of folks who have never actually harmed another human being. All the while, the Crips and the Bloods and whatever other gangs are running around in Detroit are getting away with murder, even with all the laws, even with all the government police that we currently have. And hiring more of them has not solved the problem. As Nobody pointed out earlier, our co-host Pope Nobody pointed out, it's the war on drugs that has empowered these gangs. It has given them a way to make a ton of money by dealing in prohibited products. So if you don't like the gangs in your city, or in Detroit, the city over across the river, or wherever it is you are, if you don't like the gangs and the threats and all that violence, well, then you should blame the government, because they created it by creating prohibition in the first place. 850, and they're not going to solve that problem because they still haven't figured out that prohibition doesn't work and it makes things even worse. 855-450-FREE.
Have you ever thought about turning your Glock, XD Family, or 1911 handgun into a semi-automatic carbine? It only takes about 30 seconds. The MechTech Carbine Upper is classified as an accessory and can be delivered right to your doorstep with no FFL or background check required. It's the world's most versatile pistol accessory. Build your custom upper today. Simply go to handgunconversion.com. That's handgunconversion.com.
Attention listeners interested in food supplies. If you've ever wanted to create an endless, crash-proof stockpile of survival food and do it with very little money, pay close attention. This could be a game changer. Because the cost-effective do-it-yourself secrets survival food companies won't tell you about are available. Learn all about them at foodshortageusa.com. Check this out. The economic disruption that's occurred in the last 6 months is going to have consequences. Big ones, especially when it comes to food. The availability of food, as well as the inevitable rising prices, which always get passed on to the consumer. The fact is, hyperinflation has huge implications for food and food prices. Smart listeners, you should begin bracing for impact. The good news? There's still time to learn how to get all your garden vegetables into your pantry, stored away, just in case. Learn how at foodshortageusa.com. That's foodshortageusa.com.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. SilverLungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at SilverLungs.com. That's SilverLungs.com.
Free Talk Live.
They have to pass a law that all the guns that are currently there have to disappear in a puff of smoke. That's what they have to do.
Oh, wait, you mean the bad guys won't actually give up their firearms when the authorities come around to confiscate
it doesn't really matter that they won't give up their firearms because we're going to pass a law.
Because we pass a law, they'll just all disappear.
Right, yeah.
Man, it's just amazing how powerful laws are.
Yes.
How just
laws aren't a
striking.
bunch of dumb crap written on paper. They actually do something. It's really, really stupid.
What will be stupid is if they vote for it.
Yeah, if
Take
taking
our
away,
guns!
You know, these criminals with the guns are going to kill people.
Yeah, they already are, apparently.
And if you don't have a weapon of your own, you're just as good as dead. Once the laws go into effect, that there shouldn't be any weapons anymore because then they know that the good people don't have weapons.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Moments here remain for you to take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Want to say thank you to Lonnie Gopal, who is a Free Talk Live Platinum amplifier, meaning that Lonnie contributes $25 a month, at least, to the AMP program, which is way more than what we asked for. We asked for $5, so thank you, Lonnie, for doing the platinum level over at amp.freetalklive.com. When you sign up there, you get access to some cool perks, some benefits for being a Free Talk Live amplifier and helping us get on more radio stations with the ideas of freedom, because sadly, no one else is doing what we're doing. And we did, by the way, recently hit the number 25 spot on the Talkers Heavy 100, the 100 most important talk show hosts in America, at least according to Talkers Magazine. So it's thanks to amplifiers like Lonnie for helping us make that possible. If it weren't for amplifiers helping us with $5 a month, or in his case, 25, we would not be on as many radio stations as we are today. I mean, it's just a fact. What fraction we would be on, I don't know, but I suspect it would be a small fraction of the ones that we have. You guys weren't backing us up. So thank you to Lonnie Gopal and all the other folks who either currently are amping or have amped in the past. If you amped in the past, we'd love to have you back. Go to amp.freetalklive.com, or if you've never amped a show, you'll get some cool bennies. And you can do it with PayPal. You can do it with credit card or debit card or Bitcoin BTC at ampamp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to Vic. He's in Pennsylvania. Vic, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. How's it going tonight?
Welcome. You're on the air.
Yeah, pretty intense show.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, just wanted to say I disagree with the last caller. I'd rather have, dangerous freedom over any kind of state promise. I don't think that's really worked out.
I'll take my risks. And that's, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like most people around us care about risk anymore. They don't want to take risk. They just want safety everywhere, be safe, et cetera.
Well, there's a lot of studies surrounding rule of law, and most of the outcomes are pretty positive. What I think that they're talking about is stability when they talk about rule of law in these circumstances. But that's the terminology that they use and the way they've gone and done these studies. So, go ahead.
Rule of law as opposed to rule of men is absolutely the opposite of what we have. What we have is a bunch of men who have arrogated to themselves power beyond what anyone should ever have. And they've done that by duping fools. And they have used that power then to advantage themselves by robbing the rest of us blind. The government literally stole more in just asset forfeiture last year. Asset forfeiture alone.
Than thieves.
They stole more than all the burglars combined.
That's true.
Then you add taxes. Then you add murdering people all over the world through warfare.
Well, that
then
hold
you
on,
include
hold on.
locking
I
up
gotcha.
black people because they're black and hippies because they oppose Vietnam.
These studies aren't just done on America. They're done around the world, and it's about rule of law. And America doesn't come top of this list. It's just about rule of law, and that's all that I was talking about. And so they're not locking up, black people in Amsterdam that I know of. They're not dropping, the Swiss government isn't dropping bombs on Middle Eastern countries. I get some of the issues you're discussing. It's just that what we were discussing was rule of law, and the fact that rule of law
But it's
is
a load
superior to, the
it's a lie.
Rule of men. It is a lie.
You were the one who made the rule of men argument on the air a myriad of times in the past.
Sure, and I understand that it's nuanced.
Well,
and I understand that just because there could be something better doesn't mean that what we have isn't better than something that otherwise. Like, it's just like none of these things are necessarily exclude anything else.
Well, certainly the government we have excludes the rule of law because that is marked, for one thing, by the people who are enforcing the law obeying the law. The government ignores the Constitution. They ignore the Declaration of Independence. They ignore all of the documents that gave them a thin veneer of respectability, and they are become nothing but pirates.
Vic, I want to make sure you get a chance to share your thoughts here. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, if I could just change the topic,
Sure.
I got a mask story for you guys. I
Let's
think
hear it.
might cheer you up.
Yeah, I hope so. Most of the mask news is not cheerful, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, I took a trip to the Poconos with some of my buddies.
To the where?
And the Pocono.
Oh, the mountains.
Pocono Mountains.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and we had to stop by the market first. My friend has a cabin up there. So we go to this market, and he forgot a mask. So I said, shoot, let's go in without masks.
Mm-hmm.
And we go in. We made it a few minutes into the store. Quarter of the way through the store, an older lady, probably the supervisor, she told us we had to wear a mask. I tried to tell her I have a medical issue, and she actually asked me what it was. With an attitude that she was angry about it. She didn't believe me.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I said, I legally don't have to answer that, and she let me alone. 5 minutes later, the stock boy came up to me, and he tried telling me I had to wear a mask, and
Jesus.
The first 2 times I ignored him, and then he got closer and closer to me. So at this point, he's like 6 inches from my face trying to get my attention. And so the whole social distancing thing's out the window, right? So I was just going to see how far it went, just out of, humor, because, every time we go up to the Poconos, it's something crazy. But my girlfriend stepped in. She told the guy, I have a medical issue, so he went away. And then we actually made it over to the meat aisle, and in the meat aisle, a customer randomly asked me if I was immune. And I said, immune to what? And he didn't answer. He just said I'm supposed to wear a mask. So I told him I had a medical exemption. And again, he asked me what my condition was, and he wanted to see my medical exemption card.
Wow.
Yeah, and I said, I don't need a card. It's a HIPAA violation for you to even ask me that. I legally don't have to tell you what my medical condition is.
Right.
And he said, well, you're going to get some more questions soon, buddy.
Ooh.
Right. And
it's
I
ominous.
said, well, I got a question for you. Don't you respect the law? right? Because this always gets to conservative types because they want to abide by the law,
Mm-hmm.
And cause I could tell he was a hunter, wearing the camo hat.
Yeah, in the Poconos.
The way he was dressed.
Right.
Yeah. So he got kind of aggravated me, and he actually walked away. And I guess if he was listening out there, I never got any more questions. I'm still waiting on that.
Well, good, man.
But,
I mean, I guess it's a positive story in that you ultimately weren't thrown out of the store, but it's not positive in that you were molested verbally 3 times by various different people, including just another customer. I mean, by no means is this making me feel good. But, hey, I appreciate the call, Vic. Thanks for calling in and sharing that with us tonight. Let's go quick here to Joey in St. Louis. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Joey. Joey?
Hello, Bernard. If somebody beats you up for not wearing...
Not worth talking to him. Let's go to Gene, the Christian anarchist. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Gene.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about communists and Marxists.
Yes,
and let's do a little definition here. For one thing, if your ideology requires violence on those who disagree with you, then your ideology is a threat of assault. And I can give you an example of a couple that you're going to agree with right off the line. The thin blue line ideology, the Nazi ideology. Do you agree or disagree that those ideologies are a threat of assault?
No.
Do I consider it a threat? No, not. I mean, not in a defensible sense, because a threat has to be both credible and imminent.
So
And,
so you guys will tolerate Nazis then, correct?
I've interviewed Cantwell.
Yeah, I tolerate people with whom I disagree. Yeah, absolutely. And the police as well. Like, I'll actually talk to them as though they're human beings.
I haven't killed a single cop, and God knows I've wanted to.
Because those ideologies are a violation of the non-aggression principle.
Well, that's an interesting opinion, but
they're threatening.
I don't consider somebody's beliefs to be a threat.
Well, if I threaten you with violence,
that's different than
we're
having
not
a
doing
belief.
what I want to do. Well, those ideologies require violence, so therefore,
well, then you better start
very
shooting,
fact that they promote
because there's a hell of a lot of people out there that believe in ideologies that require violence, including everyone who believes in the state. So get shooting.
And remember, you got to take out 97% of the population because they're all statists, and that requires violence.
You're going to need a lot of bullets there, Gene. Hey, we're out of time tonight. See you tomorrow. freetalklive.com.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had got involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.